Hello again, everyone. It is Friday evening. It's time to get set for the weekend with weather for Weather Geeks. This is our daily deep dive into our local weather, some national weather stories of interest as well. Sometimes in this video we talk about other sciencey subjects, sometimes astronomy, even geology sometimes when we have some earthquake activity to discuss. Hopefully not here locally, but usually it's in some far-flung places. But tonight we're going to focus, of course, just on the weather. We've got lots to talk about as we head into the weekend. First things first, with all the cold weather we've had over the last couple of weeks, of course, the ice coverage on the Great Lakes has expanded. Now, for the Great Lakes as a whole, up to 23.6% covered by ice. Lake Erie, most important for us, is now over 60% covered in ice. We only have some open water now in the central part of Lake Erie, the eastern end, which is pretty deep, but in the shallower parts of Lake Erie now we have some pretty solid ice forming in those locations, and that ice is not going anywhere in the next few days. There'll be some reduction, I think, with a brief warm-up coming during the second half of next week. But for the time being, yeah, it is awfully icy on the Great Lakes, and of course the real shallow waterways around our region, the various lakes, rivers, lots and lots of ice. It has been cold. It has been rather snowy. At the Youngstown Ward Airport very early this morning, we picked up 0.4 inches worth of snow, bringing our monthly total to 22.3. This will be the snowiest January since at least 2018, and depending on what happens Sunday, maybe the snowiest January since 2015. We're not in record territory or anything like that. We've had much snowier Januaries. I think the snowiest on record, 1999, something like 36 inches. So we won't come close to that, but still, about 4.5 inches more than average, and only one completely snow-free day at the airport where not even a trace was recorded since January the 6th, I should say. And this morning, this was a little bit of an overachiever, this light snow. This real fluffy snow has a lot of air in it, and it can just stand up real easily, and we had a little more than a dusting in some places. Down southern Columbiana County around Wellsville, Calcutta, East Liverpool, a good inch or so. Heading across Route 39 into Carroll County, closer to New Philly, about an inch. Newcastle also had about an inch worth of snow, so a half an inch to an inch, yeah, fairly common across the area this morning. We did have some school adjustments as a result because roads were a little bit slick. Things are quieter this evening. The radar will be quiet for most of the night tonight, maybe a stray flurry or two. That is about it. The big national weather story is, of course, this nor'easter. This will become a legit hurricane blizzard tonight into tomorrow along the eastern seaboard. It's in its formative stages right now, but this thing will really get its act together over the next 12 hours. Blizzard warnings are up from eastern Maine through Boston, through Providence, parts of Long Island, parts of the Jersey Shore, the beaches of Delaware and Maryland. Not only heavy snow, of course, but tons and tons of wind. So that's going to be the big story nationally, the crippling snow event coming to parts of the eastern U.S. For us, won't be like that. It's just going to be cold, and the National Weather Service this afternoon hoisted wind chill advisories for, at first, parts of our area, and then just within the last half an hour or so this evening, the Pittsburgh Weather Service office added more counties to that wind chill advisory. So now Columbiana County is included, as is Lawrence County. They technically were not included earlier on. How cold will the wind chills be tonight? Probably -5 to -12 on average. This probably is, representative of the coldest wind chills we'll see. Much like the cold nights we've had over the last several nights. It's not super windy out there tonight, but a 5, 7, 8 mile per hour breeze when it's 5 above zero, you can get a wind chill of -5 to -10 pretty easily. You just don't need much in the way of a breeze to make the apparent temperature even colder. And what we mean by apparent temperature or wind chill, your exposed skin, a breeze carries away that little tiny protective layer of warmth right near your skin. The breeze carries that away, and so that makes the apparent temperature on your exposed skin that doesn't have that protective layer anymore, that makes that apparent temperature quite a bit lower. Otherwise, if the wind is completely calm, then we have that little layer of warmth right near your skin that helps to insulate us a little bit. We'll start out with clouds on Saturday, but sunshine will win out by the afternoon, but boy, ineffective sun tomorrow. No higher than the mid-teens tomorrow afternoon as the East Coast storm rages on. Our next weather maker then is Sunday. Now, this will not be in the league of the Clipper system that moved through last Sunday. Some of us had 4.5, 5 inches of snow last Sunday. It was kind of an overachiever. This one will not be that. We see no data to suggest it'll come even close to that. But it is a little clipper that will kick up some light snow and some flurries. Our in-house model here has very little, but I think there can be some light snow around starting early to mid-morning, taking us into the afternoon. We'll have to watch for slick spots, but it's not going to add up to much at all. Clouds will hang tough into Monday morning. Here's a look at our computer models. A couple of models have basically nothing. A couple of our models here are closer to a half an inch. I think generally an inch is the very top end of the range of possibilities with this. Most of us will see a little coating, kind of like we did in parts of the area first thing this morning. So again, temperature struggle this weekend for the final weekend of January. 16 on Saturday, below zero in much of the area Saturday night. Clouds will roll in late Saturday night, or else it would be even colder Saturday night, but clouds will put an end to the rapid temperature drop once we get past midnight Saturday night, and eventually those clouds probably produce at least a little bit of snow in most of the area on Sunday. All right, good news, bad news for next week. We've been talking about this for a while. Yes, we're going to have a thaw next week. Things are going to start to warm up on Monday. We're below average, of course, Saturday, and a little below average Sunday. But then by Monday, we flirt with freezing. By Tuesday and Wednesday, we get above average. But look at all the blue on this map as we head towards the middle and latter portions of the week. And it spreads east, of course. This will be a big deal. Deep freeze coming down all the way to the deep south into Texas, much of the Midwest. And around here, I expect a rapid temperature drop late Thursday into Thursday night. And certainly by this time next Friday, we're back in the deep freeze. Now, with the warmth that is coming, we've got mid-40s in the forecast for Wednesday and maybe lower 40s for Thursday. Some pretty tough forecasts out there because there will be a pretty strong front that sets up around the region with a warm front somewhere nearby. And where that warm front doesn't get far enough to the north, that opens up the possibility of maybe some mixed precipitation for a time. I think at this point, odds favor that warm front getting far enough north that we will see liquid rain showers at times Wednesday and through the daylight hours on Thursday. But, if the warm front, instead of coming up here, decides to kind of stall, maybe closer to I-80, that will introduce the possibility that we'll have some sort of frozen precipitation to contend with for a time during midweek. I don't think that's the most likely scenario at this point, but it's something that we can't discount. Right now, the strongest odds are for liquid precipitation Wednesday, Thursday, then a change to a mix and then snow or flurries very late Thursday into Thursday night as this colder air mass rushes in. Way too early to talk about specifics, whether it's a big deal or it's kind of a small deal. Today's modeling would suggest that any snow accumulations would be pretty minor, but maybe we'd have to deal with more of a problem with a rapid freeze-up next Thursday night, any moisture on the ground, puddles and whatnot from the rain and from the thaw would freeze up rapidly Thursday night. That's something we'll be watching out for. Also, if you live near area rivers, some snow melt, maybe some decent amounts of rain, some thawing, maybe some ice jam flooding on the rivers, maybe just flooding from snow melt and rain. That could be a concern as well. So we're going to have a lot to deal with next week, but the good news is at least it's going to get above freezing for a couple of days before we head back into a deep freeze by next weekend. Now, I don't think that the deep freeze that comes in next weekend is likely to hang out for a couple of weeks like we've been dealing with here in January. It's the harshest of the cold will probably just last a couple of days. So we'll have lots to talk about next week on Weather for Weather Geeks. In the meantime, thanks for watching this week and tonight. Have yourself a great weekend, and I'll see you back here on Monday.